Welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Today we're going to be doing a little sanding here. We're working outside on this. So I figured what I would do is show you part two of this wavy flag, distress flag that I'm making. So I got a little bit of daylight left, so let's get started on the sanding and show you what I'm doing as far as sculpting goes. So let's get you over here where you can see. So see what we got. As you can see, this is the flag laying out. Yesterday you seen me put it together as far as screws, put the screws on it. So, and actually the flag will go like this. So that's where it goes. The union goes up here. So I want to sand all this and smooth it out, do it there. So I've got some dust masks, earplugs, and goggles to put on, and let's get started on this. So let's get started. Hang tight and I'll get set up. While I'm doing that, hopefully you can hear me. I just want to say welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. My name is Paul Courtwright, and please feel free to share, subscribe, and like, and let me know your comments on videos. And this will be part two of my wavy distress flag. So got my PPE on, as you can see, face goggles, dust mask, earplugs, and we're set and ready to roll. So let's get started. All I got here is I got a rasp on my angle grinder, and we're going to plug it in. And let's get started on this. So all I want to do is get everything cleaned up, somewhat smoothed out, and we'll go from there. So here we go. One of the things that get this off and talk a little bit here. One of the things I want to explain is if you're going to get an angle grinder, make sure you get one with the trigger switch. This one won't kick on unless you pull that down, squeeze it, and let go and stop. If you got a switch, you push the switch on and it stays on. Be very careful with it, because if that gets out of hand, it doesn't shut off. Or if I did this and let go for some reason, it would shut off. So just a safety feature to have. So think about that before you, when you're buying your angle grinder. So let's get back to doing some sanding here. Just over there where you can see what I'm doing. There. Okay, got the basic, basically it's flat, as you can see. Not smooth yet, but it's flat. Now I'll turn it over, and what I want to do is take off the edges here to give it a little bit of a reveal. So, just to show you what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, so let's get you a quick look at here. As you can see, I cut that off down there. And then I got it somewhat sanded there. So let's switch to my sanding pad and then we'll go from there. Hang tight. All right, so now we're going to do a little more sanding. I got a 30 grit, 27 grit, no, 80 grit flap wheel put on here. We're going to do some sanding. Let's do some sanding. Put my goggles back on and flip it over and let's get started. This is the fun part where you get to shape this all up. So let's get started. Make sure you got a bird's eye view of what's going on. There. All right, here we go. Okay, as you can see, get you back over here. As you can see, it's fairly smooth. I got some hand sanding I'm going to have to do, but now I want to sculpt this here. So this is going to be the fun part, because now you get a little bit creative in how you do that. So let's get at it and let's do it. Daylight's precious here right now. That was the screw. Alright, now to flip it over and do the back side, and then we're just about out of daylight. All right. I think that's going to be it for a minute because it's getting to the point where I really can't see what I'm sanding. So let's go down and do some hand sanding now next. Hang tight. All right, so now we're back downstairs in the shop here. And now we're going to do a little hand sanding on this just to clean up everything that's here. And then we'll take it apart and clean all these pieces up. So let's get started on that. I'm still wearing my dust mask and my earplugs. Everything, so let's get started. I think you've seen a lot of sanding, so that's basically what I'm going to do with this, and I'll be right back once I get this done. So hang tight. All right, so here we are. We got her pretty well sanded up like I want it. There's a mark right there I need to clean up, so hang tight. All right, that's better. So now I'm going to take these apart and we'll sand each one of them by hand. All right, so what I'm going to do is go over here to the belt sander and I'll sand this part up and I'll be right back. All right, so I take my piece over to the belt sander and all I'm going to do is shape that a little bit more. All right, now I'll take this back here and I'll sand the edge of this. Okay, so you can see I got it pretty well cleaned up. I got a little bit of mark right there I need to clean up. All right, so I got that cleaned up. And I'll look this over and I see I got a few marks in there, so I'm just going to finish them up. Okay, so I got that cleaned up. Now I'll lay this back up here and make sure that when I put it back on there, that this is going to have to, so I look at it, mark that edge. I got a little bit of a lip there, so I need to take off just a hair. Right there, that's better. So it's a little transition there. So that piece is done, and I just rinse and repeat with all the rest of them. So that's what we're doing. So hang tight. All right, so we got them all sanded and everything else is good. The next step's going to be we got to torch them. So got everything set back up the way I need it. So let's just get our torch out. And let's, normally I would not do this down here in the shop, but for the sake of doing this here, let's just get this torched up and see what we get. Hopefully I won't set the fire alarm off, but let's find out. So I just take them and lightly torch it. Normally I would do this outside. But let's just get started here and see what we can do. And just, since this is the end piece, one of the things I got to do is I got to torch this side here, burn the other side. Both pieces there. Now see, I didn't sand it very good on that side. That's all right. So we'll go through and we'll torch this all. Make sure we torch the ends of it and just lightly hit the end of it here. The underneath part. Just going to lightly hit this. And we'll do that to all of them. So we're going to do that to the rest of them. We'll do that to the rest of them, and then we'll be right back. So I'll get this one here, do the same thing, and I don't have to torch the sides of this. So I'll do this one real quick. So this one here, I torch back just a little bit here. And then the underneath there. You just don't want to set them afire, you just want to burn them. And we'll continue to do this. Make sure you do the ends. And I'll continue to do these, and then I'll be right back with the next one. Hang tight. All right, so let's put this together here and get our flag up in place. So I just take and get yeah, that's that one. Okay. we okay, so I need to, oh, that's right. No, it's got to go this way. All right, let's see here. I got to look at this. Let me sort through this and get them straight. Hang tight. All right, we got her figured out. My numbers were just like way off for some reason on that. So I had to figure out why I was off, but nevertheless, we're all right. So I'm just lining everything up, making sure everything is still good. And we put that like that right there. Okay, so now I get my union. And I got my union here, and I lay that up where that's going to go. I make sure this is straight, this edge is straight. First 7 is the ones that are critical. And I put a mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put a mark right here. Okay. So I'll put my mark right there where I've got. So, okay. Yeah, we're good. All right. So I got that. Then what I do is I take the first one, which is this one here, and let's go over to the bench, and I'll show you what I do next. Hang on. Hang tight. Here we are. So the first one is going to be a red with a blue here. So I lay this up there like so, and I take my razor blade, pound that in. Okay. So I need to keep this one's blue and then red. I'm going to put him right back here for a minute. Put him right there. Get the next one, which would be white and blue. So I find me a razor blade, and these are just razor blades, and you'll see it's blue on one side, white on the other, because I've used them a little bit before. Okay, so that's my white one. I'm going to lay him right there. Next one would be red. And I do that. Same thing here. Find my mark. Put that in there like that. That one goes there. Next one would be white. Razor blade white. Put him right there. He goes there. Next one would be red. The other thing you got to think about too is the red is always going to be the even numbers. That's a white one, so I need red. Got a red one. The red is always going to be an even number, and the white's always going to be the odd numbers. So another white. There should be a total of 7 stripes. Three white and 4 red. I need a red one. He goes here. Okay. So then that goes there. I want to check something because that one just didn't make sense to me. Lay that up there. Yeah. Some reason that didn't make sense. I got to move that over. did not make sense of why that one was like that for some reason. Just didn't quite look right. I don't know why. Let's check these other ones. Same thing. Interesting. So maybe that was right. Yeah, that one is. Let's see what the other ones look like. I think I moved my thing. Yeah, them are all the same. So I think, yeah. What I'm looking at is I'm laying my pattern up here, looking at the end, and I got a little bit of a gap there. So we're going to check them all just to be positive. That one's good. That one's good. Do all the white first. That one's good. Do this red one. Okay, that one does need to be moved. So maybe it was right the first time. I'm going to put it back in the original mark I had it in. Okay, so that one's right. That one's right. That one's right. That one needs moved. Okay. I'm glad I checked that. So just, I see another mark there. That's what I was concerned about. That's why it made me think about that. Better. Okay. So we're back to where we should be. Get our extra razor blades out of the way, and then I'm going to sort the rest of them out. So the last one was a red one, so the next stripe is going to be a solid white one. He'll go here. Red will go up here. A white. And somehow the last one should be red, and it would be white. All right, let me figure something out because I think I got something wrong here. Hang tight. All right, we got it figured out. I was missing the last stripe. That's what it was. So now let's get it sorted back out again. Okay, so the first one is going to be the red. So that's number one. I'm going to put him over here behind us so I can get it straight. Next one's white. Next one's red. White, red, white, now, because I got a white one here. We got her figured out again. All right, I figured out what it was. I started with the wrong one. So I got the red one here. That's an honest mistake. White down here. So the white is going to be the even numbers. The odd numbers are the red numbers. That's what it makes sense now. Now she's starting to make sense. Now we're coming out right. Red. And then white. Now it's starting to make sense. Just a small little glitch. That's all right. We got her figured out before we made a bigger mistake. Then odd. And then even. There we are. All right. So now we got them separated out. Now the next thing we got to do is we got to paint them. So hang tight and we'll get them painted. All right. So what we got, since these are white, I'll show you what I'm doing with the white. And it's basically the same thing. So what I got from, I get this from Lowe's because they're the ones that sell Minwax. But I got Winmax, it's wood finish, and I got the pure white for the white. And I had them tint it to crimson red for the red, and then navy blue for the blue. And they're all the same. It's a semi-transparent colored stain. That's what I've got. And that's what I've got on there. So there's the label. If you get that same stuff, one white, one blue, and one red. And I used crimson and navy blue. So since we're right here, we're going to do the white. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and then basically we're going to be finished, because it's kind of like watching paint dry, and we don't need to watch that. And this part of the video is already 50 minutes long, so we don't need to make it any longer. So I just take this, and let's just start with this one here. And I got white on this side and blue on that one, so I just take the white, and I just put it in like this. And I like these foam brushes. I think I may have said this before, but I like the foam brushes because I can smooth out the paint real easily, and it doesn't leave any marks. And I think it does a real good job. And I get them, I think I may get them from Harbor Freight. I don't know, maybe Home Depot or something. I don't know. But I buy them in a pack of, I think there's 10 or 12 in a pack, and they're different sizes. So I just get the pack, and I use them until they start kind of getting funky and falling apart, and then I throw them out and get another one. But I get I don't know, quite a few uses out of them. And I come down on the sides a little bit just to give it so that when it goes together you don't see anything. And I just come up like that. And I do both sides. Like so. And then the last thing I do is I take this one, and I take this side with the brush, and then I take the top, and I just nice and smooth. And I smooth that all out. So it looks like that. And that's what it looks like. It'll look like that. And that's transparent. The black will show through. That gives it that nice color. So I'll continue to do that with the rest of these. And I'll do the white and the red, like I said, or blue and red. And I'll take this one and I'll paint this one blue, and the same thing. So that's kind of the gist of it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I don't want to make it any longer. This is part 2. And since this has got to dry before I can go to the next step, I'm going to end the video here until tomorrow or something, and we'll put it together. So hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to share, subscribe, and like. And this is part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. Putting it together, putting the stars on, and we'll go from there. All right. Have a good evening. Talk to you soon.